Welcome to Bump in the Night Society presents Exploring Your Society. I'm your host, Sean Bowman. We have a very special guest this week, one of our very own members, Phill Caye. Phil, why don't you say what's up to the people?
Hey guys, how are you all doing on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon? It's hot. I'm happy to be here, man.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself here, Phil?
Yeah, man. I was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, raised in Glenshaw, Pennsylvania. Just turned 35 a little bit ago. I'm pretty close to my family, and I was a bit of I was not really a shy kid or anything. I was actually a very open, kid. I always had fun, and I grew up with a very close family that we're all close to each other. So I was like the kid that everybody wanted to hang out with, and yeah, it's went to Shaler for school, and I was I was kind of lazy. I barely made it through, but it wasn't the fact that I just didn't really grasp a hold of anything. It just just didn't care much. I was more into like movies and stuff, and I'm still close with my parents. They've been together almost 36 years, and they made two kids, myself and my sister. And my sister and I real close, and she blessed me with an amazing nephew who's the cutest little guy in the world, and I will fight to the death to prove that's always going to be something.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's awesome, and yeah, man, so I've been living here all my life, and it's home to me. I like it. I mean, I know some people, think otherwise, but and hopefully I can continue on my future here, and yeah, and I'm a lot different than how I used to be. That's for sure. A lot different. I'm not. What's that?
I was gonna say he's recently taken, so he can't be the lady killer that he once was.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a very blessed guy to have a girlfriend now, and I've known her for a while, since I was 17, and we started going out about a month and a half ago, and couldn't be happier. And she puts up with my goofy self, and she still puts up with my goofy self. So I'm a very, very blessed guy, and she likes the same stuff I do, so that's even better.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you, brother. I'm very happy too, and I cannot wait for you guys to meet her. You guys would love her, and she would love you.
For sure. We've got to go on a double date one of these days.
Yes, I would absolutely love that, because I'm all for don't want to say showing people off, but I'm a people person. I love you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, yeah, man.
So why don't you tell the people how we met?
Yeah, man. You and I actually met in the Scare House. Matter of fact, we both work at Pittsburgh's #1 haunted house. It used to be in Etna, PA, but they have since relocated to Tarentum, PA, by the Pittsburgh Mills. I think it's the area of Tarentum. But yeah, you and I have been friends for, gosh, like 6 years now, I think.
Yeah, this will be my 7th season coming up. So yeah.
Yeah, man. We didn't like talk too much, but I always try to chat with you for a little bit, because I don't do the whole only talking to certain people. Like, if you talk back, then we're cool.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah, man. And I think we actually really started hanging out whenever we would all meet up at like certain haunted houses to check out. And then I think I ended up commenting on one of your posts on Facebook of talking about wanting to get back into the paranormal stuff. And then you and I became close after that. We've been close friends ever since. So it's been awesome.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
I could always consider you a close brother. So
for sure, man. Same here.
Oh yeah, brother. Loving it. But yeah, man, it's been fun so far, and we have a lot of I feel bad for your poor wife because of the relationship you and I have. So, oh man,
she's used to it.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's just by default. It's gonna keep on happening too. So, I'm your bald man, so.
So to do a Scare House too, I know like you worked in the basement. You want to talk anything about the basement, like what that is? Tell people what it is, maybe.
Yeah, man. The basement is a very up close and personal, interactive theater drama, I guess would be a good way of putting it. It's basically, the traditional haunted houses. You go in there and you look around, and a lot of jump scares are very much a dominant part of a regular haunted house. And of course, the elaborate costumes and sets, and but the basement's a lot more adult oriented. Like, instead of like jumping out and going boo, I'm going to hang out with you for a few minutes, and I'm going to incorporate a little bit more adult content in, whether it's something a little bit more physical or something a little bit more, I don't want to say profanity laced, but that's probably the best way of putting it, because there is adult language down in the basement, and sometimes there's themes, sometimes there's not, but it's a lot more up
Like a
close.
rated R type of haunt, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely a rated R type of haunt, and a lot of my characters I've used the F word very, very generously. But some other characters I haven't, and it just all depends on what part, you're playing, and it's just a blast, man. I think I've been in the basement for like, oh geez, like 5 years. I think I've played a number of characters, and they still put me down there, which is great. It's it allows you to kind of improvise much more. Like, even if you don't think you can, you probably could once you're put in that situation. It's like, here's a basic storyline of what your character is kind of like. Elaborate on that, add a little bit more what you want to do.
Pretty much like a bullet point type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of the actors there will do it like that. I mean, I just make stuff up, and if it scares the crap out of it, batty, and it kind of makes sense. I did what I could, because I suck at memorizing. I just go with it.
Now, have you had any
fun.
like previous acting experience or taken any improv classes, done anything in high school or anything like that?
I have taken, what the hell did I take a while back? Yeah, you're gonna probably laugh at this, but
Ballet.
one of our yeah one of our old friends. I don't know if you've ever met him. His name was Ricky Volberg. Great guy.
Yeah, I know. Ricky.
Yeah. He wanted to set out to be an aspiring like filmmaker, or at least that was one of his dreams, and he was putting together a little short Spider-Man like independent film called The Death of Spider-Man, and I played, what the hell kind of character was I can't remember. It was Cobra. No, I can't remember the name, but that was a part of it. So, and I didn't think I did a very good job. It was it was a good effort. Like, it was really a good effort. I didn't have any experience whatsoever in doing it, so I thought I sucked. But it was fun. I mean, it helped. I've taken some improv classes. I think a couple classes way back when, like 5 or 6 years ago, with some friends of mine.
Okay.
But I've done a talent show, I think, a couple of times in grade school. I think I did a couple plays, so I never really had too much acting experience, just random stuff here and there. So even getting into Scarehouse actually was the one helped to teach me how to act a little bit, because and I get stage fright too. So I couldn't be up on stage acting in front of everybody, because I'd get like, clammy hands and dry mouth. But Scarehouse has helped out a lot, and it's kind of unleashed a little bit of the darker side of me, because I never realized I was able to be doing what I do now. So, and I really have to keep on doing that, man. It's just, I love it. Just, I don't consider myself an actor at all. I just consider myself some dude that just tries to scare people in a haunted house. And, if it works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then hopefully I can, do something better or learn from what didn't work before. But it's just fun, man. It's
definitely a rush for sure.
Oh yeah, and I've been obsessed with like all things horror and Halloween ever since I was a kid. I credit my mother for taking me to some haunted houses and for sneaking over to certain childhood friends. Yeah, we're gonna go watch a Disney film. It turns out we're watching like Freddy versus Jason or something like that. My parents weren't too keen on that, but it's like, yeah, they realize that now. I'm pretty open about that stuff, so it's kind of cool.
I actually wore a Scarehouse shirt. I don't know if you can see or not, just because I knew you were going to be on.
Dude, I don't have any more, man. All mine had like, permanent like deodorant stains on them, and some of them ripped. I'm like, this sucks.
Well, my original one I was 2015, like the gray ones with the Krampus on it. That one's kind of beat up. But this is 2016, and it's in pretty good shape. So
that's awesome. I got to see if they have any like large ones, because the one that I saw Allie wear, I think it was on Saturday. Yeah, with the bunny. That was really cool. I was like,
well, the new one has like the mask on the back, like the grandpa thing with the breathing mask.
Yeah, that's really cool. Actually, come to think of it, I think I may have one Scarehouse. You know what? No, I do. I actually do have one Scarehouse shirt. It has the creepy bunny on the back with holding like a machete. So
yeah, I
should start wearing that more, because I usually just wear it to bed. No offense to Scarehouse or anything. I just have way too many shirts. But yeah, man, it's fun. It's without Scarehouse, I think my life would be really boring. So And without the paranormal stuff too, of course.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's definitely a rush, and like I know from like when I used to rap or whatever, I used to rap back in the day,
Yeah.
and like being on stage and doing that type of stuff, and then like being in character, because like I'm kind of like nervous and like I guess I get stage fright too if I'm just myself, but if I'm playing a character, like I can be a little bit more crazy.
Oh yeah, absolutely too. And I think you'd be perfect in the basement, man. I mean, because
I've
you
had
have,
numerous people say that before.
oh
You
yeah,
know, I
you
would
have
love
the
to do.
height, you have the presence of it too, and and the cool thing is like, they give you the idea of how they want you to, in a way, do it, how what their vision is, and you kind of just like go from there and like kind of make it your own. It's
Yeah.
so fun, man, because you can have like the same character played by two different people, but have completely two different things going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. Oh yeah, you'd be freaking flawless. I'd be terrified to go in your room.
I'm sure I'd have fun with it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You kick ass. You would definitely elaborate on the whole dropping bodies to the floor song by Drowning Pool. So
Talking about that, that was one of the categories I was going to bring up. Is I know you love like metal in that. Any what's some of your favorite? I'm pretty sure you have a metal shirt on right now. I'm not really big into metal, so I'm not sure, but
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's oh gosh. I there's a ton of bands. Like this band is called Anal Nathrak, and if you guys want to know where the name comes from, it's a magical spell that Merlin said, the one with Phil Paxton that he said, and I guess the band thought it sounded really cool, so they made this name into a band. They're a two-piece band from I think the United Kingdom, but they have
okay.
a full live set, and they're like industrial blackened grindcore, so they're really fucking heavy.
Mm.
And they have like 12, 13 albums, but every single album is like just in your face blast beats, double bass, and like pig squeals, and I love that stuff. Morbid Angel, Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Slayer,
I've
Evergrey.
heard of Cannibal Corpse and I've heard of Slayer. All the other ones I haven't heard
yeah.
of.
Oh yeah, they're awesome. Watane's good. They're awesome black metal. Dark Funeral, and I like a lot of like lighter stuff too. Like my non-metal side is Frank Sinatra, Phil Collins, Depeche Mode.
Mm. You like Johnny
geez,
Cash at all?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
dude. And it's not by default. I mean, it's just I like him. He's just a fantastic singer. He's an incredible guitarist. Freddie Mercury, I love Queen. Queen's great. Led Zeppelin, although they're kind of in the metal-ish area. So just like I always lean toward the more aggressive side of music, but if I want something more calmer, I'll listen to them, or even jazz music or classical, and even some rap and country is good. It just So it's just, but yeah, metal for me is my main thing. Like if I can get a whiplash and my ears are ringing, then it's been a good day.
Well, hopefully with this COVID shit, we can get back to some concerts pretty soon.
Yeah, man, that'd be awesome, dude. I'd be totally like exploring more different types of stuff because I mean, like I said, good music to me is good music. It doesn't matter what genre it is.
For sure.
You can find something good in everything. Even pop music, God forbid. And I think pop's junk. No offense to people who like pop, but but yeah, man.
So how'd you get involved with the paranormal?
How did it happen? I was a part of Oakmont Paranormal back when me and my then girlfriend were together.
Shout out to Drake on that one. We had Drake on here before.
Oh yes, Drake, I miss you, buddy. I miss you, man. But yeah, we were online on Facebook and we saw Oakmont Paranormal. I think the page that popped up on the friends you may know. We were like, that's kind of cool. So we ended up messaging Drake, I think that's how it went, and he messaged us back, and we were talking to him like, "Hey, we saw you on Facebook. You were in our suggestive friends list, and we're both into the paranormal." And we became really good friends with him, and I think we met up with him a couple of times, and he had like a class to take, and I think we got accepted into the class. Went on a few investigations, and we just became so into it, and then it tapered off. Lives get in the way, jobs and all that stuff, so it's kind of hard to fit everything in, and didn't really do much after that. So that was about a few years that nothing really much, happened. But then whenever I saw your post on Facebook, that's where, the interest sparked again. I was like, oh crap, I got to message him. And then we just decided to And I think you guys invited me to the Anchorage Mansion. That was the first
Yeah, before
investigation.
with the old team. Yeah.
Yeah, and I fell in love with that place. That place was beautiful. But yeah, even like before Oakmont, I kind of had a thing for it. I've always loved going to like haunted locations, and
Mhm.
of course, working for Scare House.
You ever do
And
any
I
like
think
urban exploring or any stuff like that?
no, not really. I mean, I would like to. That'd be
Mhm.
really cool. Like, I would just love to go to random places all over the state of Pennsylvania just to check out all the creepy architecture and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Just it's just I love it. I mean, although I am one of those few guys that I like exploring stuff, but I like get to stay there.
Mhm.
As long as I have peace and quiet at my home, I'm okay. I know it's like, oh, that's no fun. Well, if you're like me and I like to sleep, but yeah, it's just I love it, man. It's just I like I said, I credit my mother for getting me into the haunted house stuff. So I think that also kind of sparked it because everybody thinks of ghosts and haunted house are intertwined together. And then
Mhm.
of course the Oakmont Paranormal team, we got into that. And then of course, Celestial Oddities, which we now are, bumping a night, and it's been amazing ever since, and I love it. It's so fun, and I always end up feeling bad though because I end up like hitting my wall at like midnight. I'm like the one yawning in the background. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta wake up. I'm like,
That's
crap,
that's
everybody else.
part of the thing in the meeting we were going to talk about was the yawning all the
Sorry. Oh
time.
god, I
we
feel terrible
we still
too.
love you, Phil.
I know, I love you guys too. It's just like whenever I know it's gonna happen, I have to like close my mouth or something like that because it's just working for a company. I mean, I like what I do, but staring in front of computer screens all day kicks your ass. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I love it, man. The paranormal stuff is so fun. I mean, it's because it's just nice to learn about a certain history of a certain place,
Yeah.
and why it's there. And it's like, and I'm still a skeptical.
Yeah.
We all are.
Yeah.
That's just not gonna change. I mean, and that's one of the first things we do is we try to debunk everything
Mhm.
but it's just fun, man. I love it, and that's why I'm very excited for Saturday. Oh,
Yeah. Saturday we'll be at House of Wills in Cleveland for anybody who wants to
yes,
follow. I'll put up a post later, but we're probably going to go live. I'm saying probably 10 o'clock, maybe do an intro when we first get there too, do a live, maybe half hour. And then if anything cool happens, we'll do live again sometime on there.
absolutely. And if anybody happens to want to know what the place looks like, you can obviously Google them. And the place is big, it's beautiful, and it has such a creepy vibe, but not an uncomfortable vibe. It's very creepy, but it's very like with how big and how vibrant it looks. That
Mhm.
sounds like a weird way of describing it. You want to check it out. It just looks
It's
really cool.
55,000 square feet. It used to be a funeral home. It was like I think the biggest African American funeral home in Cleveland when it was in
Oh my god.
operation. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say because a typical funeral home is not that big,
Hmm.
but that place is huge. Like
Yeah.
that's like almost stadium huge.
I'm most excited about like Jen's been there, everybody knows my wife. Um,
Mhm.
she's been there before for a photo shoot, which actually we're doing a photo shoot during the day as a team while we're going to be there. Um, but yeah, I know she said that there's like a basement and there's a sub basement. That's what I want to do. I like the scariest place in the building, like that's what I
Yes.
always try to go for. Jen will try to back out, but I go like the scariest place I can go.
Dude, I'm totally down with that, man. Like,
Mm,
it's like even the scariest places turn out to be not so bad. I've noticed.
yeah.
It's like the basement of what place? Grand Midway.
Mhm.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. The only thing that was shitty is if you're a really tall person, you're gonna have a
Super
hard
like
time moving
dirty
that.
and shit down there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I was just more concerned about getting stuff on my bald head and my
Mm,
clothing and everything like that. That was the only part that was tough. But I don't know. It's just I think certain rooms they just have that creepy vibe, but it turns out to be kind of peaceful. And then until something's tapping on your shoulder and you end up losing your lunch out of your bowels. Ew. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. And of course, we did the Inspiration Home, which was beautiful.
mm.
That wasn't technically, scary. It was just more of like a relaxation, which was always a wonderful thing. Because
Yeah, it's definitely more good natured, I think, than bad
oh
natured
yeah,
for sure.
it was nice, and we got some activity there too, man.
Yeah.
Countered a trickster from what my one friend said, and we all slept like babies, and just and apparently we have to stop eating Brussels sprouts because things
Actually made Brussels sprouts tonight too again.
Oh man, they're good. They're really freaking good, man. Oh Lord, have mercy. But if for anybody who decides to hang out with us, if we eat Brussels sprouts, fair warning, we apologize for any inconvenience because we will be farting a lot. And I think your wife and myself did it the most. Hell, I even did it through the home, and freaking Tom or Mikey ended up hearing it. I'm like, how the fuck?
Yeah, he blamed me for it too. I was sitting in the kitchen.
That's
He thought it
right.
was me.
Yeah, see, that's what you get there, man. I have to use the scapegoat for something, dude.
Well, going back to Oakmont Society, I know you did the what was it, Bushy Battlefield? Is that what it's called? Bushy Run Battlefield.
Yes.
Is anything cool happen there?
There was one instance, and I don't know if my eyes were just playing tricks on me, but it seemed like everybody else was experiencing it. We were doing the whole question and answer session. I can't remember if it was on the Ren Pod or something else. Drake could probably remember it better than I can, but I think it was pretty late at night, and then all of a sudden the woods that we were surrounded by started to illuminate like a really bright green, not to the point where it was blinding, but it was the entire hillside was just very like, it was bright, and we started hearing like moaning everywhere and stuff. And Drake was like, all right, folks, calm down, calm down, calm down. This is why we're here. So that was actually really cool. I don't know if that was technically paranormal, but it was just the experience that it actually happened there was just like, what the hell is going on? This is fucking crazy. This is really cool. You know, it's
that kind of sounds like something similar when we went to Lake Shawnee, where they actually found a bunch of bodies buried. Like it's fact, they were digging some like mud bog, and it's like in the newspapers and everything. In that area, we heard a bunch of like noises in the woods, sounded like some type of animal. So we actually have it on video. And I swear, like I saw like a shadow person walking in the woods too in that same area. But that was really cool. Like you got to come to Lake Shawnee. It's a really cool place.
Yeah, I would love to. I think I know we talked about that a while back. I can't remember when that was going to be. Was that like later in this year, like Lake Shawnee? Because I know we had interest in that one.
Probably not this year. We have so much stuff booked already this year.
Yeah, it'll be tough. So definitely next year would be cool. I mean, we have the amount of stuff we've already been to this year is great, you know. So that's awesome, man. But yeah, that was pretty much really, as far as I can remember, that was probably one of the cooler experiences there. No, it wasn't like a freaky experience, just oh my god, this is actually happening. But it was cool. You know, we were all content, and I think our buddy Tom was also there. Not our Tom, but Tom from Scare House, because he was part of the group as well. And
yeah, Drake talked to me about that before too. Tom.
Oh yeah, Tom's the man. But yeah, man, it was like Drake could probably elaborate a lot more on it, because I'm probably missing out on a lot of details, but it was a really, really intense experience, and I loved it. Nothing bad happened or anything, just that whole moment was like, oh my god, you know. But that was it. Just happened. Just experiencing stuff like that just really gets you pumped for like what's going to happen next. You know, it's awesome.
So what are some of your views on religion?
Oh yeah. I am a Christian. I was born in a Lutheran home. I was raised in the church, and I didn't like it only because I was young and impatient, but now I like it a lot more. I'm non-denominational, and I'm not like a Bible thumper or anything like that. You wouldn't even be able to tell I was a Christian if you looked at me and the stuff I listen to and what I'm into. It's just more of a personal thing. But I do believe in God, the devil, the resurrection. I do believe in heaven and hell, and I do want to go to heaven, regardless if people believe it or not. It's just my own personal thing. I'm trying to get back into it. I shouldn't say it's tough. It really is tough because, we're human and we screw up every freaking day, and of course, believers are the ones that are going to screw up every day because we're human and we live in a world where it's all, messed up and stuff. But, I would never, ever, ever, talk someone down about their religious beliefs unless it's, causing physical harm to somebody. I'm like, all right, what the hell are you doing? But I'm raised Christian and not the most knowledgeable in the Bible. I'll say that much right now. I have a Bible, but I don't think I've ever read the damn thing. And I feel terrible about that, but it's yeah. I think the older I've gotten, I realize that like it's still something that needs to like I love to have a part of my life. Knowing like regardless of like whether somebody believes or not, he is there and he knows the type of messed up person that I've been. you know. But I don't like how people jam it down your throat. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. That goes both ways too. Like some people are full on religion, some are complete opposite. And,
oh yeah, exactly. And like I've met people who are big Christians who are the most judgmental people, and then I've met people who are atheists who are the most accepting people. And just there's good and there's bads and everything. There's people that give Christianity such a bad name, and then there's people who, and I've met believers who you would never ever think that they are, but you only could tell just by their actions. And to me, I try to be good, and I fail a lot. Both up here and from what people say or hear from me. But yeah, it's something I still struggle with, and I'm trying to work on. And it's just more like a personal thing, and I only bring it up if people ask me, But I don't mind talking about it either, especially with somebody who's completely the opposite. It's like, talking to an atheist or somebody who is a Satanist or, whatnot, or even agnostic. Yeah, that's, you do you. I'm choosing, I'll follow the guy that got nailed on the cross, And even though I don't, wearing black metal T-shirts and all that stuff, it's only close people like the music. Come on now, But nah, it's just I do. I've grown to appreciate things more in life, and it was like that back in the day. But whenever you're young, I don't want to go. But then you're older, and you're like, this is kind of cool. The church that I go to every now and then is it's called Northway Christian Community Center. It's nice. You can walk in with jeans and a T-shirt. I could probably walk around with this shirt, and they probably wouldn't even think anything twice about it.
That's good. That's what you need. That's what you need more in religion, is people just to accept you for who you are.
Exactly. And people don't realize that. Well, Jesus Christ, he was the one. He wore rags and stuff, and I guarantee you, would even the most traditional church even let him in for the way it looks? I don't know. And he's always, he was the one that loved everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. He hung out with the worst of the worst. But to me, it's just all a personal thing, and I still like the stuff that I like, and I'm love metal, I love horror, and I like dark stuff. And it's not evil; it's just I love the art of it, know. But I can easily separate. I could listen to a band like Deicide and easily separate the lyrics from the music. Easily, it doesn't affect me.
Now, does your religion does it affect like where you would go? Like I know with the Bel Air Demon House, I know you didn't really want to go there.
I'll be honest with you. I don't want to say that like it technically hasn't. I do get apprehensive in certain places. I'll be honest, I do. Whenever if it's like a house of like demons or malevolent spirits, I'm like, only because I don't have enough experience if something were to happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be honest, like even the House of Wills, I was slightly apprehensive, but the more I like looked into it, I'm like, this place looks beautiful. I'd be an idiot not to go here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I would, but of course I make sure I have protection.
Yeah.
And not to provoke anything, because I'm not into the whole provoking stuff. Hell, even if we end up going to a really active place where nothing happens, I'm okay with that. Just because I just love to look around and just enjoy who I'm with, But I know I do have my limitations, though. I do have my limitations, just because, and it's not like a wussy type of thing. I would never even have somebody force to go. It's just like, if you don't feel comfortable going, I'm not going to force you. I would not look down upon you, because everybody has what they can handle and what they think they can't.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean you're not confident. It just means I would rather you be comfortable than not.
Well, I think the more you do it too, like the more ballsy you get, I guess. Like, that's like when we were at Inspiration House, I was like holding those possessed dolls and you guys were all like afraid of it. But like, I don't know, like I'm kind of like, I don't know, it's not immune to it, but I'm just like, kind of like,
right.
Whatever, like, I don't know. but the thing is, like you were talking about earlier about like something following you home. I think I know. I'm pretty sure we told you about a little couple things that happened to us, which kind of freaked us out.
Yeah.
One thing with Jen, she had nightmares like 2 nights in a row, and one night she woke up screaming, and it woke me up. And I think we were talking about it with your psychic friend or whatever, when because she said that she saw something like attached to Jen, and she said it like came from me or whatever. And
Yeah.
another weird thing that happened, which just actually happened more recently, which I don't think I told you guys. I don't think I told the group. Jen knows obviously because she was there. But the one night, the same night, I thought she was crying like next to me, sleeping, and I was like, "What are you crying about?" You know? And she was like, "What are you talking about?" And I like woke her up. So I don't know, like if it was her crying or like I heard something or what. But that happened.
Whoa.
And then that same night, I went back to sleep. I got up and I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. So I got up and I walk over and I'm like reaching for the doorknob. It's dark in the room. I'm like, "Where the hell's the doorknob?" I'm reaching all over, can't find the damn doorknob. And Jen wakes up and she's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm looking for the doorknob." And she was like, I think she's like, the way our room's set up, like, I mean, you've seen my room, I think, before.
Yeah.
But like I sleep on the one side by the window, and I get up and like I have to go straight and then make a left, and then the door's right there. I was on the other side by her, facing the wall, like where I don't know if you saw, like I have like pops and stuff, on my all against the wall. I was like touching the pops, like the door was on the other side of the room, and I thought I was by the door, and like I felt so stupid because like when she was like, "What are you doing?" I just like left the room and didn't even say anything to her because like I felt so dumb. But it was so weird. Like, why the hell was I on the other side of the room looking for the doorknob? Like, I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny as hell. Yeah. It's funny. Like even that, like of all the houses that we actually spent the night, I didn't have any negative experiences sleeping whatsoever, man. Like Inspiration House, I slept like a baby. The Dracula room, which was definitely one of my all-time favorite rooms, or vampire room whatsoever. It's
with coffins in the room too, or whatever.
Dude, oh my god, I was like, yes, the color scheme was beautiful. Like all the ornaments and stuff was like, this is cool. And plus, it was the warmest room in the home, so go figure.
They were used coffins too. Like they said, the owner was saying that. Well, they had 2 regular coffins and they have like a wicker one, and the wicker one was actually used from the funeral home right across the street to transport bodies. So they weren't like brand new coffins.
I think I laid in one with the Bumpy mask on. That was really fun.
Yeah.
That was a really
don't give away Bumpy's identity. So
did I mean to say what I meant to say?
No, we've had numerous people play Bumpy.
Oh yeah. Spoiler alert. But yeah, man, it's just like to me, like I think I need to be more, because obviously I'm still new to the group. I'm going to be that new guy, the new bald guy kind of thing. And I think the more I start doing this stuff, I think I'll start getting used to the much more, active places, So I think once I start doing that, I think I'll be a lot more relaxed. The only thing with me, I just have to learn how to stay up.
Yeah.
And I have to learn, ask more questions a lot too, because it's like, the situation where we were at the Inspiration House in the garage, the second floor. Well, who we thought we were talking to, that little girl Emily. Turns out we were talking to a trickster, from what my friend said. Whenever we were talking,
which is probably better though, because Emily's supposed to be from the Bel Air house and she's supposed to be a demon. So it's probably better we were talking to the trickster.
Oh yeah. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. But I think like once I heard that, I kind of freaked out a little bit, but then I remembered, oh yeah, Karma said we were going to talk to a trickster. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. And whenever she mentioned to April that whenever I was doing the whole question session with Mikey in the basement doing the blind spirit box, she said that I had a short gentleman to the left or right of me. Didn't freak me out or anything. I was like, oh, that's cool. It's just, we all have our moments. But like I said, you guys have been doing this a lot longer, so you're used to it. I'm still trying to.
Well, that's like,
the
whole channeling session that you were talking about, and you were talking about like getting tired. I remember like me and Jen just hit a wall and we were like laying in bed trying to go to sleep. So we didn't even really like see what was going on with that so much. I know you guys told me you heard my name numerous times, and Cameron too, which is my son, which I swear every place we go, Cameron's always said. And sometimes he's with us, sometimes he's not. Like he was at Hillview, he was at Shawnee, his name was said, but they always say his name for some reason.
hmm I was tired as hell, man. It was. I mean, I think the fact that I don't suffer from insomnia or anything, so I can go to bed like on a drop of a dime if I wanted to.
Mm.
But like I was like, you can tell if I'm like tired. I kind of make short answers or short questions, and I kind of sound like I'm drunk a little bit.
Mhm.
I'm not crabby or anything. I'm just like, hey, you know. But that was a fun time, and I would love to go back to Grand Midway, man.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, dude, heat the fucking building.
Yeah.
I love you, but heat the freaking building, you know? Oh Lord, I never realized you can actually see your own breath in a building that way, and it's so congested in there sometimes, you know? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
geez.
Well, hopefully we'll get to go there during the summer or something, maybe sometime. I don't know if it'll happen this year, but that would be
Yeah.
cool.
Heck yeah, man. I have to I got to stop using all my PTO in the beginning of the year. I've already used like 8 days. Oops.
Well, you don't work weekends though,
Uh,
right?
no. I mean, I have. We've had mandatory overtime on weekends if like shit hits the fan. Because working for any company that involves computers of some sort, you're bound to have a lot of technical difficulties. And since I work for a medical company, and our goal is to make sure patients are protected from sudden cardiac death.
Mhm.
If the server goes down or something, and they need all hands on deck the next day because we have to make sure these patients are protected, then I think it only happened once. I had to work on a no, I'm sorry, it happened twice. I had to work on a Sunday and a Saturday, I think, or maybe it was the opposite. I can't remember, but it wasn't hard, I mean, because I've been working with the company I work for about 4 years now. I like it. It's a
Mhm.
good gig. I'm just a customer service rep, but there's a lot more to it than simply saying, "Hey, how are you? Can I help you?" Blah blah blah. There's a lot, but it definitely tests your responsibility level, your maturity level, your compassionate level. You have to use your brain big time, which I have very little of, but
Well,
surprisingly, they still keep me around.
what's
So,
kind of weird is like there's so many connections between our members, like that we don't even
mhm.
realize until after the fact. Like, I mean, you and
Oh
Mikey both
yeah,
have worked for the same company, and that's like you guys
yep,
didn't know each other, so that's crazy. Then, like, I
exactly.
mean, me, April, and Jen all work in the same field too. Like,
Mhm.
there's just so like a bunch of us are Capricorns. Like, it's just like a lot of weird connections.
Isn't it crazy though? And I love that too, man. Like
Mhm.
I think Michael, I think he said he didn't work there whenever I got hired. I think he quit before that, or maybe I misheard him. I'm not sure. But I should totally look him up in the little address book that we have in our email or inbox or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, I know that dude. My dad actually works for
And I'm like
Zoll
a
also.
bag of poop, like lighting on
Yeah.
fire. So
I should totally do that.
put like a bump sticker on it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, and I tell you what, dude, it's just I always like to laugh at people because my regular adult job is working for a medical company, and of course, working for a scare house is my job to make sure I can give you a heart attack because I want to scare you. And then, of course, working, being a part of a paranormal group, trying to, you know,
Be
communicate
scared.
with you. Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it's so many ironic moments
Like
with
full
the
circle.
helping to protect patients, helping to scare them to death, and helping to communicate with the dead, kind of
Yeah.
thing. So it's just like, how the it's, what happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it though, man. It's a bit of a mixture of everything. I could definitely see myself doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Absolutely, everything I do. Zoll. I mean, sometimes Zoll has its moments where it can be tough, but I like it, and obviously working for the haunt and doing the paranormal stuff, it's a blast, man.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
definitely a blast. Like, yeah, man.
So what would you say is the probably like your favorite place you've been to haunted wise?
Um, I would say Anchorage Mansion was amazing. Definitely Grand Midway was incredible.
Mhm.
And Dead Man's Hollow was a fun time because we got to be outside in the fresh air and we got to walk around a lot. That was a blast too. And plus the
Which another little plug right here. June 12th will be a Dead Man's Hollow public investigation.
yes,
$40, get
oh
your
yes,
t-shirt, stickers, get to hunt with us, get to use our equipment. Come out with us.
yeah, right, exactly. And you get to hang out with some really cool people and listen to a lot of really terrible jokes and crude humor. So please join. We love the people, and we don't try to. We do try to put on a show for us. Damn it.
We try to have a good
But
time, but we were not serious all the time.
nah, you gotta have fun with any job. You have the most serious job in the world. We have to have a good time. But yeah, Anchorage Mansion was a blast. Dead Man's Hollow was fantastic, and Grand Midway just because everything was themed. I love that place there. And honestly, just from looking at the photos, I think the House of Wills might be taking the cake soon because I keep looking online and I keep checking that place up. But activity-wise, definitely Grand Midway and Dead Man's Hollow. Especially with the experience that you and I, along with that one couple, had in the.
Yeah, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, man. It was cool. We were in probably the middle of the tunnel. I don't know if it was the middle or towards the end. It was me and Hugh and that couple from Scranton, Chris and Mary. That was her name.
Yeah, Mary Conti Exploration. That's her Instagram handle.
Yep. And we were doing. We had our REM pod on because the place is littered with broken pieces of cement all over the place. So you have to have a flashlight at night, otherwise you're probably gonna break your ankle. It stinks. I have no sense of direction, and I'm 35, so go friggin' figure. But anyway, we were in the middle, and we decided to put the REM pod on a cement slab. I say it was about maybe like that kind of thing. Had like small ridges on there, so we set it on the bottom. There was no way that thing was going to slip off. It was pretty secure there because we were there for a good 20 minutes. Well, we were talking with a spirit who was a bit feisty, called Mary, a rather, inappropriate term. I won't say it, but
couple different terms. Yeah, I've actually listened to the audio not that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was. I mean, it wasn't like a bad one. It was just screwing around and just was irritated. And we're like, whatever. Well, there was that moment, and I think you may have recording of this on Instagram where the REM pod fell off. There was no wind. There was no nothing. It was just like, here's the REM pod right here. It was just like, bam, just fell off. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I can't remember if we said something to have that happen. We were like, if you were here, can you like push something or touch something? And I think after that is whenever the thing just like flipped over on its side and fell on the ground. But I don't know if it actually fell on top of itself or just kind of like went like that kind of thing. I can't remember.
Well, I know it was definitely aggressive, like just like the language it was using and whatever else. Pretty sure it was male.
Oh yeah. It was. It wasn't like mean or anything. It was just like, yeah, well, you know what? Check this out, bitch. Like kind of thing. But that was
because through the Ovilus, it said a couple different cuss words and everything else. And I mean, we're rated R, so I could kill. I mean, it said like cunt and whore, and it even said one of the other things that I don't know if I realized it, but like listening back to it now, she asked the question. I think she said, "Where are you right now?" And it said like up your ass.
I remember that.
So yeah, it was definitely vulgar and like. I mean, I'm pretty damn sure it'd be a man talking like that, but
yeah. It was fucking crazy, man. I was like, what the hell did she do? I mean, is it because she, she lives where Biden was born, for God's sakes? I mean, shit. That was a fun night though, man. That was fun. I don't know if anything else happened. I mean, that was pretty much the only like noticeable moment where we were like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
Because that was the second time we were there too. And it was funny. The first time we were there, we came across that campsite with those friends, and whenever we were leaving, I think everybody was in that tent, so I think we may have interrupted some fun time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, that was a fun night too.
Well,
I can't wait to get back.
The first night we were there, we heard screaming a couple times.
Yeah.
And also, we got the Ovilus said McKeesport, which is where it's actually at, which, that's not even a word like programmed in an Ovilus, but it definitely sounds like it's at McKeesport, which we had a live stream going on when that was going on. So, like, everybody could hear it.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I know myself or Mikey, Luke, and myself, we were on top of that hill, and we started hearing like an animal scream or something like that.
Yeah, we were at the bottom of the hill when that was going on. We heard it too. Which I mean, we were in McKeesport, so the scream could have been from something else. Who knows?
Oh yeah. Oh, and I forgot to also mention another fun place that we were at was Darmine. That was fun. So that was probably one of my favorite places to go to. That place was freaky.
Gates of poop.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy that wasn't shit down there, man. Oh, assholes. Not you guys, but just whoever wrote that, because gullible idiots like me would think it's actually shit. But yeah, that was that. We had a lot of stuff going on there. it was cold, like very cold and muddy. Yeah, if you ever decide to want to check out Dharr Mine, it's right in Smithton, Pennsylvania. There's a trail that's maybe quarter of a mile. It's not that hard. It's definitely go at night because it's really really eerie, and yeah, you get a lot of activity down there too. I think we were in the one like lower level on top of the coal part.
Yeah,
so
like
we were
conveyor
getting
belt.
Yes, thank you, conveyor belt. We got a lot of good activity down there too.
That was a pain in the ass because there's like water surrounding everything, so you have to like climb up and over shit and like.
Yep.
But we kept hearing like coughing. Remember, there was like coughing coming from like the back of the room, and it was just us three in there.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. I think it came from behind the actual like heart area too. Yeah, that was crazy. The coughing. I know across the street in the little fucked up looking area, the other building, we were communicating with that miner, Walter, was it?
Yeah,
I think it was Walter.
Yeah, Walter's the one.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy. And I almost damn near had a heart attack because you were using your cell phone for something and the light reflected off your cell phone. I thought I saw a white figure dash right behind you and I screamed like a little girl. Oh my God. I was like, what the fuck? And then you did it again. I'm like, you dick. Oh, that scared the hell out of me, dude.
I told you when I was like wandering the woods, because don't you remember I was wandering the woods by myself, like up on the hill?
Yeah.
And, like,
oh yeah.
I was like, I think I had that. You might actually be able to see it on the body cam because I think I had that body cam running all night. But I stepped on a branch and it like popped up behind me and like I thought somebody was walking behind me, like made me jump.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Oh man, that place was amazing, man. Oh, and that was the first night that Sean got a taste of my ass, so that was pretty cool.
Well, that was during the photo shoot, though. Not.
Yeah. I had to bring that up. I had to.
Yeah, I mean, it currently isn't. It's funny that the other Dharr Mine video where it says when Mikey is talking to Walter and he says, "I'm right here, Mike." That's our most viewed TikTok video, like 4,000 views. But previously, that one where I'm boosting you up and my face is in your ass, that was the most viewed video on our TikTok.
Oh my God. Oh, and I even told your wife, you better have gotten that on tape. She's like, oh yeah, I did. Like, that was just, you really have to have her put like, the Titanic theme song, slow motion, just your face implanted with that one ass cheek. Yeah, guys, as you can all tell, we have no shame. We don't care. Fuck it. You get offended.
Pretty unfiltered here, which, by the way, talking about unfiltered, Tom couldn't be with us tonight. He'll be back there in the future, but he was originally gonna help me host tonight, but he's actually going fishing, so he had to head out for his fishing trip. He'll be at House of Wills this weekend with us, though.
Oh yeah, I'm happy that Tom is coming with us for the House of Wills one. I miss that guy. He's Tom is definitely a wonderful part of the group. He's been doing this for a while too, 20 years, I think. Yeah,
he was with Pittsburgh Paranormal Investigators before that, which they're actually. I'm not sure how many people are on their team, but two of their members, Earl, which he's been on some stuff with us. That's Tom's brother, and Vicky, which is Earl's wife, which I've actually known her since I was a kid. I used to be good friends with her son. She's coming with us too to House of Wills this weekend. So that's
yeah, man. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff coming up too. Parapsychon next month. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah. May 21st through the 23rd. It's going to be at Mansfield Reformatory.
Yep, exactly. I know. I'll be there over the weekend since I sadly don't want to take off work since I got to be very, scarce with my PTO days. But yeah, it's. I wonder how Tom actually got into the whole paranormal thing since he's been doing it for a while.
Well, I know he's had experiences. Like he used to live in Beachview. I used to live in Beachview too. I know, like he had a couple things happen in his house. Him and Luke both. And that's, I think, kind of what got him involved. But the funny thing is, it was later on in life, like I had stuff happen when I was a kid, like at my old house, and like that Beachview house actually. And the house that I used to live on was the oldest house on the block, and I think it was like an old farmhouse or something too. But when me and my brother were kids or whatever, like the way the house was set up, which I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I don't know if I ever told you, the way the house was set up. There was a hallway when you came in, then there was a living room to the left, dining room was across from it, and then there was a little cubby hole, like cubby that goes down to the basement, and it goes in
Yeah.
the kitchen right there. So in this little like cubby area, like where the rooms kind of connect, me and my brother were playing with mini bricks, which are like an old fashioned toy. They were my dad's.
Yeah.
And we both saw a guy in a trench coat standing like in that little cubby area. And, we both went and told my dad. My dad like searched the house and everything, couldn't find anything. And there's other little things that's happened to that house. But years down the line, like probably when I was like a teenager, maybe even a little bit older, I went to a psychic. And I don't know how much I believe in psychics, but there was two things that kind of I thought were pretty cool that she said. One was my spirit guides were Margaret and John, and that's both my parents' middle names. So that's kind of weird that like she said that. My parents were alive at the time, but that's still kind of weird. And then the other thing she said is that there was a spirit in my basement. And like I said, that happened right in front of the basement door. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Were your parents into the whole paranormal stuff whenever?
Well, it's funny because like my mom, she was more into the paranormal stuff. She was more into horror movies. And like I was watching Chucky and Exorcist when I was a little kid, probably.
Nice. That's awesome.
But like she wouldn't like she's neither one of my parents are with us anymore. But they definitely, I think if they could communicate, which I sometimes I have feelings sometimes that they do. I think they would because they knew how much like I was into this type of stuff. Like there's a couple instances. One with my mom, which has happened more than one, even when we were at Scare House the other day, which is, I mean, this is just coincidence probably. But when we were getting our makeup done, the House of the Rising Sun, you know that song?
Mm-hmm.
That song was playing, and that was like my mom's ringtone. So that's kind of weird. But
that's crazy.
Like the weirdest thing though is when we left Hillview Manor. I've been to Hillview Manor a bunch of times. I don't remember which time it was, but the one time we left, me and Jen got in the car. Jen knows that was my mom's ringtone. It was like her song.
Yeah.
As soon as we got in the car and I turned the radio on, as we left Hillview, that song came on the radio. So that's weird,
dude.
You know?
That's crazy.
So I kind of feel like it could be like my mom communicating. And there's other little things like when she passed, like the house that I was living in, she used to, like, because she was living with us because she was in bad health. She would sleep in the living room and there was a recliner there. And like my bedroom was like back on the right. And I would come out of that door and like use the bathroom in the middle of the night. And like I'd be able to look down the hallway and I'd see her sitting in the recliner. Well, like after she passed, I swear I would still see her like sitting in the recliner, like as I'd get up to go to the bathroom, like more than once, like it happened. So like that was like pretty much right after she died. Cause I don't know if you believe in that or not, but they say like the veil is thin and like right after that time, like there's a lot of activity with loved ones and stuff like that,
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it's like, it's kind of nice. It's like, I always go by the philosophy, especially being a, believer, even if you're, if your parents or grandparents passed, they only left, their spirit moved on, but their physical bodies, obviously in the grave, but it's just, they always are there just to remind you that they're still here, and to add on to that, my grandfather, whenever he passed away 2 years ago, he was big into Frank Sinatra, and my uncle Dennis, who is his youngest son, he and my aunt Amy and their two sons, or one of them, I can't remember, they went to his gravesite and they had a radio there playing a song by some artist. Well, my aunt said that the song stopped playing and then a Frank Sinatra song came on out of the blue. And then once it stopped, the song after that continued on. So it was weird. It's like, wait a second, what the hell?
Yeah.
And then my grandmother said that I think a couple months ago, my grandfather never liked change. Like he always continued to do stuff how he did it. Like how they still wrote checks for bills and nobody does that anymore. You know?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess my granddad was finally introduced to the art of using a electronic toothbrush to brush his teeth. And he was all excited. And I guess my grandmother got one too, because she's a registered nurse. So she's always doing stuff to make sure you're healthy. And I guess they always had their toothbrushes, the electronic toothbrushes, behind each other on like the bathroom cabinet thing. I think that's what it was, plugged in. Well, my grandmother, I guess, went by the one living room and up the set of steps and saw my grandfather's toothbrush all by itself on top of the guest bedroom's dresser.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it just,
that's crazy.
Stuff like that. It's like, I don't know if like you can't just remember putting it there, or I do believe, it's like It's somebody like, hey, I'm doing well. I just want to let you know I'm still hanging in there.
Well,
It's
that's
nice.
like a couple other like things. When my dad passed, um, they had what the heck show was it? It was some ghost show that we
Yeah,
were watching, but my kids used to call him Bubba. That was like his nickname, and
yeah,
instead of like Grandpa, they call him Bubba. But we were watching
right,
some ghost show, and it had like Bubba on the screen on the bottom. Like I actually like took a picture because it was weird because like it was when we were like talking about him that it like just shows
right.
up on the screen. And there was another thing similar that happened when we were at Gettysburg years ago, and this I was actually with the Girl Scout troop with Jen and them, and me and Jen went together. Like me and Jen been friends for years. It was back when I was with her and the Girl Scout troop, and we're coming back, and I had like a little ghost app on my phone or whatever. I'm just playing with a ghost app, and we're like asking a question
Yeah,
and shit like that. And one of the questions they asked had to do with my dad, and it said Bubba when they asked the question, which that's crazy too.
yeah.
we used
Oh
to
my
see
God.
we used to see a little yellow bird too all the time. We thought like had
Yeah.
something to do with my dad because they say stuff about like cardinals and different types of birds and stuff. And like we always saw this little yellow bird. It would come up. I have pictures of that too. It would come up to the window and just like sit on the window. And it came by like weeks, like just like chilled and like I don't know. It was weird.
That's
Like
crazy.
a spirit animal or something. I don't know, but it was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. And yeah, like I was actually talking to a Robbie about a instance that happened with my grandfather's younger brother, Tom, who passed away from, I think he had prostate cancer. This was like 5 years ago or something, maybe four. But
Mm.
he was a real big Christian, like real big Christian, and, which he was like the one. He was a wonderful guy. Well, I guess whenever he passed, my grandfather Ronald, his youngest brother Tom, and his older brother Chuck, and I guess his younger brother Tom's wife and four kids, they all got a phone call from their own house at the exact same time.
Yeah,
And
I
apparently,
think I
my
did
dad
hear
says,
that story on there.
yeah, and apparently you can't do that from what my dad says in the digital world. And whenever they picked it up, there was nobody on the other line. We were thinking that's maybe Uncle Tom saying that he made it home. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and that's the one thing you know, that always makes me like, have my belief system grow stronger. It's just like, God has a reason for doing what he does. And, I'm always eternally thankful, especially whenever you've grown up into a good family. And I'm sure you guys grew up into a very good family too.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But it's
I'm
weird that
sure
we
if
have so
you,
many like similar stories because even with the phone thing, I'm not sure if I told you. I think we might have talked about this before when you talked about it. Um,
yeah,
I had a voicemail. My dad had a lot of health problems. He was diabetic, type one.
right.
He lost his eyesight, lost part of his foot, had knee transplant, like all sorts of shit happened to him. And when he originally had his kidney transplant, which he lived 10 years after his kidney transplant, so it definitely was good. Um,
Hmm.
but his day he had the surgery was actually Friday the 13th. It was in October 13th. I forget exactly the year, early 2000s or something. I'm sure you could find it, really looked it up on the
Yeah.
calendar or something. But that was the day that he had his kidney transplant, October 13th. October 13th is also the due date for Nadia. She ended up being born on the 25th, but that date is like a specific date that holds meaning to me. Well,
Right.
after the year my dad passed in 2011. He passed December 2011. So in 2012, October 13th, and I have it saved to my phone. I got a voicemail and it sounds like my dad mumbling. And it's not
Oh,
like you can't tell what he's saying, but even like my mom was still alive at the time. Like I let my mom hear it. I let my brother hear it. I let my
yeah.
ex hear it because everybody knew what his voice sounded like. And it sounds like him talking, like you just can't understand what he's saying. But it happened on October 13th, which is like a significant date, you know?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you still have that voicemail?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's not on this phone, it's on my old phone. But yeah.
My gosh. That's just nuts, man. That's
Mhm.
just, there's always ways for them to let us know that they're still here, you
Yeah,
know?
it's hard to like. I mean, like I said, I'm skeptical, but it's hard when
Hmm.
there's a lot of coincidences. A lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
weird shit happens.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Like, I mean, I do believe in coincidence, but I always do believe that, like, okay, God, what are you telling me? Kind
Mhm.
of thing. It's just nice, like my mother lost her father like 3 years ago, and I'm sure she still encounters stuff. And I always
Yeah.
see stuff that remind me of my grandparents and my loved ones. It's just goes to show you guys, none of us are here forever.
Hmm.
It's That's one of the reasons why like I never predict the future is going to happen. Every day to me, as long as I can get up, do what I got to do to go to work, come back home, it was a good day. You know, it's awesome though. It's how old would your parents have been now if they were still alive?
They were born. My dad was born in 1947, March 3rd. So what do you mean? 74? Yeah, it'd be 74 now, I guess. And then my mom was born in 48 of August, so she'd be 72. She would turn 73 this year. My dad died when he was 64. My mom died when she was 69.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet your parents are pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, another thing too that's weird is both of my grandmothers lived into their 90s. My grandma Jean, which was my grandmother on my dad's side, she died April of the same year. Then my dad died in December. And then the year that my grandma Carm, which is my mom's mother, my grandmother on that side, she died August that year. And then my mom died in January, like that within the 6 months or whatever of each other. And they were both in their 90s. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Walk in the night. Did you hear a walk in the